Hello. How are you? Have y'all had a great time? Oh, I just can only imagine. I mean, I can't even imagine. Really, here's what I can't imagine. Y'all have an awesome national sales director. And she loves you so much because planning and preparing for an event like this for your area of consultants before leadership conference, where you're also going to plan and prepare for your directors, where you also have responsibilities for the company, is like huge amount of work. And so I know you know how blessed you are to have Jan Thetford in your life as your national, and that it truly was a divine appointment. But I want you to know that you have no finer national on planet Earth. She truly is so respected by the company and by her peers and by her girlfriends as not only one of the smartest and best directors and now national sales directors, but also one of the funniest and no, the funniest. She is the funniest, because we all think we're kind of funny, but Jan is queen of funny. Do y'all agree? Thank you. And very couth. Yes, she always knows what to do when, especially when she's with David. We're working on grooming David. One of the first times I remember actually being with him, I like to hold this, was when we were in Paris. Okay. So we're in Paris and we're trying to be, cool and polite and European. And we're going to have dinner at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and there are about 12 couples that were going to go. And I thought, well, this will be great. Well, one of those couples was Jan and David. And I didn't know Jan very well. I only knew Jan kind of through Bet and kind of through Linda, but we had not yet developed our own friendship. And so David and Jan, I don't remember Jan sitting so much near me that night as I do remember that David sat very near me that night. The top of the Eiffel Tower, okay, it's dinner. It is like 5+ star. It is so incredibly elegant. And here's David. Bonjour, 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 come over here, bonjour. And I'm like... So he says, bonjour, merci. Do y'all have any beans and potatoes around here? I'm like... I look at Jerry, and Jerry looks at me, and I'm like... And then, you keep winning trips and you get to know people even better, right? And so that was like 7 or 8 years ago, or 9. I don't know. It was a long time ago. And so there are so many great stories that I could fit under my belt. But you know what? I love David Thetford. He is a godly man, and he is a great man, and he is a funny man. And I know that he is so behind this area growing too. And so here's what I want to challenge the Thetford area to. I want to challenge the Thetford area to step up to the plate and put yourself on that scoreboard in a place that represents who you are. See, it's a funny thing in the way that we work in Mary Kay. I know that y'all have been running with the theme of NSD, now stand and deliver. And you know what? It is your turn to now stand and deliver. And it's not like you can look to your neighbor or to your director and let her take the responsibility. It requires, an area requires everybody stepping up to her plate of excellence. Because our company's kind of funny this way. Our marketing plan, it does two things really well. The first thing it does really well, would y'all agree, is that it rewards the highly motivated. Have you noticed that? It rewards the highly motivated. When you open up Applause magazine, who do you see? You see the highly motivated. When you start looking for checks, who do you see? You see the highly motivated. When you see they gave out a 5-carat diamond, who'd they give it out to? They didn't give it out to the person who's unstuck. She's sweet, God love her, she's mismeant to. She talks about all the great things that we're going to give her a 5-carat diamond ring. No, they don't. When they give away European trips, who do they give it to? They give it to the highly motivated. When they're going to make a film or a video and show everybody how this should be, who are they going to give it to? They give it to the highly motivated. Our company rewards the highly motivated. And I think all of us look at what our company gives away and say, I want to be one of those people winning that stuff, because I know that she doesn't have anything that I don't have. The only thing different from her is that she got busy and went to work. She got highly motivated. And then, of course, the other thing our company does well is it gives us a comfortable place to order at wholesale. And in between, in my opinion, our company can allow us to be very frustrated. Now, that's not our company's fault. Because what our company has given us is a place to excel, to be our best, to step up to the plate, to be more than we ever imagined that we could be. Our company's given us a place to order products at wholesale. Now, I believe that in this room, you didn't travel, or how many of you came from out of state? Some of you are from out of state, I'm sure, because some of your consultants who live in Dallas couldn't get here, and I understand that, because that's always the way it is. So what I know that I have in this room of the Thetford area is the highest motivated of all of the women. So I know, woo, that's right. Let's hear it for the most highly motivated Thetford girls. So what I know about you is that it doesn't really trick your trigger to hear me say that there's a place for you to order comfortably wholesale. Like, you know. So I believe that you want to be among the more highly motivated, and I believe that if you choose not to be among the more highly motivated, that you stay in a position of frustration and disappointment and discouragement, and that is not a place for you. And I want to challenge you to step out of that place, because you know what? I will tell you that when I'm highly motivated, I'm working hard like a dog. And you know what? I'm so happy when I'm working hard like a dog. You know when I'm not happy? It's when I take a break. It's when I sit down. It's when I watch a nighttime TV show. Oh, what a wasted half hour. What a wasted half hour if you sit down and do it. Then your whole spirit becomes dragged down, because it's not of higher things when we take a vacation. It is a godly principle to go to work. And the reason people are miserable is because they sit around thinking about what they should be doing instead of going and doing what they should be doing. It is so energizing to be highly motivated instead of just look at other people and go, oh, they make me tired, I don't want to work that hard. Really? Really? You know what I say to people who look at me and say, I don't want to work that hard? I say, you know what? You don't know my life. You do not know my life, because I wake up early and I seize the day and I see a beautiful sunrise across this huge back window in the back part of my house. And I wake my son up every day, and I'm with him for his bath every day, and I blow dry his hair every day, and I see him out the door to school every day. I'm still in my pajamas. Jerry gets in the car. And I'm in my pajamas when Jerry comes home with a bagel sandwich with an egg and a baked salt bagel and cheese on it and coffee already made. And we sit down and we have that together. And then, if I haven't already had my quiet time, then I'll have that quiet time because the house is quiet, nobody else is there. And then at 9:30, my daily housekeeper comes in. And she works all day while I'm working all day, while Jerry's working all day, and then she goes to get Thomas usually from school, and he walks in the door, and I put down the phone. I hear him come in, the phone goes down, I hang up on people. I stop. When 3:15 rolls around, he walks to the door, and I greet him, and we sit down with his backpack, and we go through everything, and he tells me about his day, and we look at all of his stuff, and I say, where's your homework? And he shows me, and I said, do you want to do it with me? Yeah, let's do it right now. Then he goes back down till he's finished with me. So it was a 15-minute interlude, you know. Then I work until 6. My babysitter starts dinner at 5:30. The dinner is in the oven. At 6 o'clock, it's almost done. I turn on high to steam the broccoli. We have dinner. Thomas's bedtime is around 7:30, unless we're going to believer service, which is on first and third Wednesday night. And then it's at 8 or 8:30. And then I have either more time in the office or time alone with Jerry. Just depends. So for people who tell me they don't feel like working like I work, I think you don't know. You just don't understand. That to work hard means to have all the privileges that you ever wanted, that you can design your life if you will just now stand and deliver. The trick is that you think there's a better time, an easier time, a different season, different things going on in your life, different relationships, different struggles, different circumstances, different husband, different son-in-law, different attitude from your daughter, different financial situation. What you don't understand is that nothing gets different until you get different. And so I want to challenge you to now stand and deliver. There will not be a better time. What are you waiting for? You know, we see this company as viable for other people, and we see other people achieving. And I know you look at me and you think, well, you know, lucky her, $250,000 a year, just got back on her NSD trip. I mean, you know, listen to that. Who wouldn't like to live that lifestyle? Well, just, you know, Lucky Pam. Well, let me tell you about Lucky Pam. When Lucky Pam came into Mary Kay, Lucky Pam was $16,000 in debt and earning $19,000 a year teaching high school English and dance. Everything about my life was upside down and wrong, from relationships to my social life to my spiritual life. It was all bad. My circumstances were bad. My situation was bad. And you know what? Those were bad because of choices I had made. And I was exactly in a logical place based on choices that I had made. And you know what? I made a decision that I would stand and deliver, that I would step up to the plate, that life would be different, and that I would make changes. And I did, little by little. And so here's what I want you to know. 2 very important principles. Number 1, change is hard. Change is hard. If you think change is easy, then you're going to go home and you're going to make the same mistakes and you're going to end up in the same place again, because change is not easy. Change is hard. Say it with me.
Change is hard.
Change is hard. Here's the second principle. You're going to love this one too. Change takes time. Say it louder. Change takes time.
Change takes time.
We're a microwave society. We want everything overnight. If we can't get it overnight, it's not worth having, you know? I mean, that's just the way it is. The gyms are packed this week with people who made resolutions on the 1st of January. At the beginning of March, I won't have trouble getting my favorite treadmill anymore. See, I already know that. I already know that just January and February, all I do is just change my time that I go, because I know that all the, mismeant tos, they'll be off. They'll be gone by March. Most of them by Valentine's Day. Why? They didn't get the results they were looking for in, 8 treadmill walks. So change is hard, and change takes time. Now, for you to think that, for you to go home, and how many of you feel inspired already? I mean, your workshop has been great, and you've heard from great teachers, and your national is taking you to a higher level, and you've got ideas about where you want to go. But you're going to go home, and it's the same house, same kitchen, same profile box, same customers, same family, same. The only thing that's changed here is that your mind has expanded just a little bit. But in order for something dramatic to take place in your business, you are going to have to make a change. And it takes you 21 days to do something that you don't feel like doing before you erase all the bad habit of that same area. You cannot get rid of an old habit until you replace it with a new, better habit. You don't just say, kick this habit. You replace a habit with a new and better habit. And that's how you change habits. It's going to take 21 days to even get started. It takes an incredible amount of discipline. So I'm going to give you 10 tips. I spoke to a group of high school teenagers this last year. They asked me to come and talk to them about the 10 tips that I perceived as 10 tips for success. And so I'm going to give you those 10 tips because these are generic. These are tips that I taught to high school teenagers. And then I'm going to give you 10 tips past that are more specific to the Mary Kay business. Okay? Let's talk first about number 1, positive attitude. A positive attitude. A positive attitude. You know what? You know why I worked to be $1 million director? Because I wanted to be around women who had a positive attitude. I was so tired of being around the whiners and complainers and moaners in my area. I just got so tired of working with people who were, just wah, 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 wah. I'm going to quit because I'm just not making the money that I want in Mary Kay. Oh, really? Well, did you try selling 10 miracle sets this week? Because you could have $1,000 if you just sold 10 miracle sets this week. Now, how long and hard are you going to have to work for Joe Blow to get $1,000 in your hands? It's probably 40 hours a week, 4 weeks in a row before you're going to get $1,000 in your hand, when this week you could go sell 10 miracle sets and have $1,000 in your hand. So for somebody who says to me, I'm just not making the money that I need to make in Mary Kay, I say, you don't get it. Which part do you not get? I had somebody say to me this week, we don't even know where our rent's going to come. We've been doing without my husband's income for 6 months. Do you know what I didn't say, but what I wanted to say? We've been doing without my husband's income since we've been married. I don't understand what's so magical about a husband's income. It's attitude. It's about attitude. Do you have a positive attitude? When you wake up, what do you listen to? Because if you turn on CNN or the news, or if you turn on even Good Morning America, hey, if you've got a habit with morning TV, you've got a bad habit. And I call it the same habit as, overeating or over drinking or over anything. It is a bad habit, and it will feed you nothing but garbage. What do you listen to when you first wake up? When you get in your car, what do you listen to? Do you listen to radio? Do you listen to a training tape? Do you listen to a sermon? What are you listening to when you're driving around? What is feeding your brain constantly? Because that's going to be reflected in your attitude. You know what? There are two things that come out of your mouth, and they either are positive and uplifting or they're negative and demeaning. That's it. There's no other option. There is no in between, because if it's not positive, it is negative. It is estimated that 90% of what comes out of our mouth is doubtful, fearful, and negative, and does not lift up the other person, which completely defies what God's Word tells us in Ephesians 4:29. Let no unwholesome word come out of your mouth except what is good for lifting others up according to their needs. So usually what we say that comes out of our mouth is to make us feel better. Well, you know, I invited 10 guests. You know, they all canceled. Now, if I have a consultant say to me, my guest canceled, I will basically whatever I have in my hand, just hit her over the head. I mean, you know, if she tells me at meeting that her guests have canceled, I wonder if she thinks I'm just brain dead, because if she's standing there with no guests, there are only two assumptions. A, she didn't invite anybody. I'm not going to assume that. B, they just didn't show up. I'm going to assume they didn't show up. If she's standing there with nobody, I'm assuming they didn't show up. You do not have to verbalize, my guest didn't show. I mean, I'm just standing there like, you know, duh. No kidding. I mean, I can see that you have no guests. You don't have to reinforce that, but because it's also negative. Because what it says to you is, guests cancel. Well, okay, let's all practice. Guests cancel. Yes, this is a real part of our life. It's a real part of our business. People cancel. People are flaky. People are fickle. They back out. I can remember when I was going through a struggling time as a sales director, and I called my sister. Big mistake. My sister is a stay-at-home mom. Her husband is a doctor. I said, Melanie, I'm struggling as Mary Kay sales director. She said, Pamela, I've been waiting for you to make this call. You get your resume together and you get out there. She said, anybody would hire you. You can do anything. You just need to get out there in corporate America. You get your resume out there. You can do absolutely anything. You could be earning $50,000 a year anywhere. Now, 13 years ago, when I was not making $50,000 and struggling as a director, $50,000 sounded good. But do you know what I think today? When I think that I could have taken my big sister's advice, my big sister who I looked up to, my big sister who I wanted to be just like, my big sister whose bras I tried on and stuffed before I had boobs, my big sister who knew everything, I almost took her advice. What if I was making $50,000 a year today? What if I had taken her advice? And see, my negative words prompted her to give me that advice. Don't ever take advice from somebody who is not where you want to be in your life. If you know, you're not going to go to a dentist who has no teeth. I mean, you go. You look up and you climb up and you speak only to people who are where you want to be. Don't ever tell your roommate what's going wrong in your Mary Kay business when hers is already worse. Use positive words. There is truly, truly, truly no way around it. Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond. There are so many people, and I know the beautiful Kathy Goff came in here and talked to you with more excuses than anybody in our company not to be at leadership this week. She has it. Yet she is here. Not here to take. She came to give. That's why she's where she is. And that's why she will always be at the top of where she is, because it's attitude, and it's a positive attitude. Number 2, servanthood. The Bible says the greatest of these is the least of all. You must be willing to submit, to play team ball, and to follow as well as lead. In Mary Kay right now as consultants, your director has a goal, and it's probably a Cadillac goal, and if it's not, then you need to tell your director that you want to be a part of a Cadillac unit and get her straightened out. I mean, your director has a goal, so figure out what her goal is, and you support her to that goal. You be a team player. I will remember at the DIQ, my last month in DIQ, my sales director had never been on a top trip, and the trip was to Hong Kong. And I wanted Nancy Perry to go to Hong Kong. I wanted her to be among the top directors, and I was working, yes, to finish my goal, but every day I would say, Nancy, what's our production as a unit? How much do we need to do this month for you to go to Hong Kong? And she said, we need to do 68. I said, what's the highest you've ever done? She said, 38. I said, we're going to do 68. My DIQ team did 24. We pushed it all in. 24,000 the last month of DIQ. Nancy Perry went to Hong Kong. My first month as a director, my unit did 8,000. Now you do the math. You're a director. Now you earn 3 times as much as you did as a DIQ, and 24,000 or 8,000. How would you like to get paid your first month? And you know what? It was like 5 years later before I even entertained the thought in my mind, before I even did the math, before I even realized that what I did for her hit me. But you know what? It didn't hit me. Because do I look hit upon today? I mean, did it hit me? Did it hurt me? No. It's that push to the end, be a part of the team. Go for the big goal. See the big picture. It's not Team Pam. This is not about Team Pam. This is about our area. This is about our company. This is about carrying Mary Kay's vision into the 21st century. This is more than just about me. Oh, our country so makes everything just about me, but it's not about me. And if you stop working like it's just about you and your circumstances and what you want, and embrace other people around you and serve. Servanthood is a very important part of what we do in our business. When you go into some other woman's home, when she allows you the privilege of walking past her front door, investing time in her home, you're there to serve her. And we all know this, that if product and money are exchanged as a result of that servanthood, then great, so be it. But we are here to serve. We're here to serve our team members. It's not to say that we're a doormat to our team members. It's not to say that we put all the showcases together. We do not lend product to be Miss Go Give. It's not that. That is not what we do. We don't lend product. This is a business. But we can serve people. You don't have to give everything away to serve. You can set a high standard of excellence and an example and serve people in that way so that you're giving them something higher that they can aspire to that they never imagined before. So number 2, serve. Number 3, continue to learn and grow. This is like preaching to the choir. You're here. Continue to learn and grow. Find mentors. Find good, look up to the leader that you've been given. Watch what they say and watch how they live and read good books that good and legitimate and reputable leaders have written. You must imitate qualities that you know work. I remember learning how to do certain things in the business. An interview, for example. My director went with me on a couple of interviews, and my role was to say nothing. She informed me on the front end, don't say a word. So I'm like, okay. And so she did the interview, and I could say nothing. And she said, when you have something to say, then you're ready to do your own interviews. I'm like, well, okay. And so I didn't say anything, but I would sit there, and every time she would get to she would pull back her body at a certain point, and then she would reach forward, and she would touch her hand at a certain point, and she would tilt her head at a certain point, and it was like almost the same every time, and I'm thinking there must be something to this. So I think I would do my own interview, and I would pull back at a certain time, and I would push forward at a certain time, and I would touch her hand at a certain time, until, and so I looked like a miniature little, Nancy. And then after a while, what happened, though, I allowed her to mentor me, to teach me, and then I just kind of forgot going through the motion, and I made it my own. That's what mentoring is when you imitate something that somebody else does right and well and successful. You can do that through a cassette tape. Your mentors do not have to live next door to you. You do not have to have total access to all your mentors. You can have mentors on cassette tape. You can have mentors from a distance, but learn from your mentors. Number 4, follow through. Follow through. I believe that the biggest reason that most people truly do fail is that they don't follow up or follow through. They plant a seed and they never nurture it. They don't fertilize it, and they never go back to the same field and check to see if it's growing. Follow through is so important. You never, never, never give up until the challenge is complete or until the task is worked full circle. When you pass out a tape to a person, and I know this has happened, that you pass out a tape and then you never call them again. You think, well, if they were interested, they would have called me. No, that is not the way it works. You've got to follow up and follow through. The reason most of us don't follow up and follow through is because we're afraid of being pushy. I don't want to be pushy. All people think I'm pushy. I just want to be pushy. How many of you feel don't want to be pushy? You know what? Here's the thing. If you don't want to be pushy, you're not a pushy person. There's no way, no chance, not a chance on planet Earth that you will ever be pushy. I mean, if you just step it up to a 9 on the aggression schedule, you're still not close to pushy. You don't have it in you to be pushy. It's not a part of who you are. If you're afraid of being pushy, you're not pushing the line. Only really pushy people aren't afraid of being pushy. The only people not afraid of being pushy are pushy people. And they know not for what they know not. And they'll just continue to succeed because they'll just work through enough numbers eventually. Now, those of you who are just kind of waiting in the balance because you just don't want people to think you're pushy, you're not working enough numbers. And there's a difference between push and passion. Push says, I'm trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. Passion says, I want you to hear me. I'm so excited about this, and I don't want you to misinterpret my excitement for pushiness because I would never push you to do anything that you don't want to do, but I just hope you understand. I hope you hear me. I'm passionate. I'm excited. I'm committed. I want you to be a part of my team. Okay, are you alive? I mean, that's the kind that I'm talking about. So you've absolutely got to follow through to the degree that they understand where you're going. Number 5, resiliency. Bounce back. Oh gosh, gang, if I could tell you how many people quit, returned product, changed their mind, became directors, quit, returned product, changed their mind. This is not a matter of what other people choose. There was a time in my career, early on, I was a new director, I had 2 offspring right behind me. I thought, I am so hot. I don't know what the problem is with this national thing. I mean, we're going to have this put together in, no time. That was 14 years ago. And those 2 directors quit. You know what? I almost let that determine my future. That almost got me down so far that I'm thinking, I don't want to hurt this bad. But you know what? I hadn't been to Switzerland yet. I didn't know what the mountaintop felt like. I only knew what the valley felt like. And so if you have only experienced the valley, sister, you just don't know what the view is like from Mount Schildhorn. And you have just got to work. Don't you ever let one other person's decision determine where you will go and marry Kay. I believe that life is a schoolroom, and your experiences are the classroom lessons that God will give to you, and He will give to you lessons, and the harder the lesson, the greater the climb potential if you will just allow that lesson to carry you to a higher place and allow it to make you better and not bitter. It's your choice, and you will have to look at those experiences as opportunities to grow and make changes and step up to the plate at a higher level. Number 6, character. Charisma attracts. You've got to attract people. You cannot push people. You cannot strong-arm people. You cannot manipulate people. Charisma attracts. It's that power that you have that can be exercised almost unconsciously over a friend, a classroom, a teacher, a crowd, your unit, your team, a customer. It's that thing that pulls people in towards you, the ability to attract other people to you. It's charisma, but its effect is temporary. Charisma is all well and good. For lasting influence, you must look deeper to character. Proverbs 31 says, what does it say? It says, beauty is fleeting. Beauty is fleeting. Well, there's something before that. Something saying beauty is fleeting. But beauty is fleeting. But a woman who fears the Lord. What comes from that? But beauty is fleeting. Well, the part that I remember is beauty is fleeting. And you know what? I know that's true. I know it's true. So the point is that you can't always count on being cute. And you can't count on just being charismatic, because A, is that we get older, B, beauty does fleet, and C, we got to count on something deeper, and it's called character. Character sets you apart. It's your integrity. It's when you are on time, when you do what you say, when you show up, when you're honest, when you do the right things with money, when you make the right choice, when you differ from the crowd. Today, when you have integrity, it sets you apart from the crowd. I mean, we have moved in the political arena from, who was our president who could not tell a lie? George Washington. Abraham Lincoln. Which one of both of them? I can't. Cherry tree. George, right? I cannot tell a lie. The definition of is. Let's talk about what is the definition of is. And we've come a long way in the leadership of our country, and I'm really not trying to make a political statement, but what I am trying to do is to simply say that integrity does set us apart. And when we choose to have integrity, because we can get away without integrity in our country. There are a lot of examples, just no integrity doesn't matter. You can get away with it. There's a law or a side split. There's something that gets you out of it. It doesn't matter when it all comes down, push comes to shove. You got to have integrity. Character creates trust. The leadership functions on trust. And if you're going to lead people, and I'm assuming that you want to step up to a leadership role, people have to trust you. They won't follow you if they can't trust you. They've got to know who you are in the dark, and they've got to know who you are in the day, and they've got to know that your words and your deeds, that they match up. That who you say you are is who you are behind closed doors. With character, you build trust with other people. Each time you choose integrity over image, truth over convenience, and honor over personal gain. People will trust you. Character will give you staying power during tough times that all leaders face. And prior to this year, the past 2 years, were really tough times for our company. We'll look back and we'll see that it was a tough time. So if you've been in Mary Kay for a while and you had a tough time the last 2 years, look, good for you. You're still around. They were. And very simply, there's a reason, and I'll just give it to you in a nutshell. When our company went from leadership with Mary Kay the person at the helm of the seat, leading, to Mary Kay not having anything to do with our company, then there was a little bit of a transition. But then Mary Kay still had a voice. She spoke at leadership. She showed up to seminar. But then when Mary Kay's stroke hit, then not only did the field go, oh no, we don't have Mary Kay, but what we didn't understand is that the corporation on Dallas Parkway went, oh no. That our leadership, our president, our vice president, they all went, oh no, what do we do without Mary Kay? That was a 2-year window, gang, that we went through. But you know what? Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And that's why the leadership who has integrity is still around. There were a lot of people lost in the past 2 years, but let me tell you something. We are on the next big wave. Mary Kay Cosmetics is on the next big wave. We are getting ready to ride the big one. Do you ever watch those Hawaii Five-0 shows, you know, where the kids who surf, and they just sit out there and they paddle and they suck wind and water and they just wait and wait and wait for the big one? And then when you get on the big one, you know what happens then? They just ride it. Let me tell you what. You are paddling. You are paddling. You are paddling. You are paddling. You are paddling out there, and you are waiting, and you are working. Now, when the surfers are out there waiting for the wave, are they just taking naps? Or are they like on guard? Oh yeah, they're working. They are working. Their muscles are tense. They're ready to hop up on that board at any point in time. They are ready, they are active, they are alert, and they are working, and that's where you'd better be, because I'm telling you what, the big one is coming. The time for you to become a national sales director is now. It doesn't even take you 14 years, 20 years. It doesn't even take you that long. You know, we took that long. There are a lot of reasons. There are a lot of reasons. The history of our company right now is you could step up into the position of national sales director in 3 years, 2 years, if you chose to do it and focus on it. And I challenge you to do that. Character gives the leader staying power during the tough times. Get in the habit of making good choices. You know, it's so true that we know what to do. How many of you know that you know what to do? In the Bible, God refers to that as light and truth, and He gives us light and truth. And there is also something about the light and truth. In Matthew, He tells us that unless you act on the light and truth that you have, you will not be given any more light and truth. There is nothing more new to tell you. Until you do what you already know, you can't skip what you aren't doing. What you need to do is what you need to do now. You can't skip it. You've got the light and truth. And until you do what you know to do, there's nothing new for you. You keep trying to get to something new thinking it's going to be easier than the thing that you know you need to do now. It's not. Change is hard. Change takes time. Do it now. Get started. Start planting the seeds. There's a season. Sow, reap, harvest. That's the way it goes. 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 It's going to go with your business. So you just got to buckle down and do that. Here's the other part of light and truth. And this comes from Matthew. If you don't take action on the light and truth that you have right now, not only will you not get any more, you could lose the light and truth that you have right now. That God will take away the little understanding that you have right now, because it's called lack of obedience. And God doesn't demand our obedience because He gives us free choice, but He asks for our obedience, and there are consequences to being disobedient. And I don't think you want to go there. So I am challenging you to step up to the plate. Learn from the mistakes of other people. You don't have time to live long enough to make all these mistakes yourself. And so just learn from the mistakes of other people and get to work. Number 7, excellence. Excellence. It's when you put everything you have into everything you do. It's when you stop looking for a shortcut. It's when you stop looking for the microwave. There are no shortcuts to success. Excellence provides a benchmark for every action and gives everyone a standard to shoot for. You know, there's a difference between excellence and perfection. How many of you are perfectionists in the room? Anybody got a little C in her style, a little D, you got to be perfect, I'm not going to do it at all? And you know, you meet these new consultants, and when they've read the consultant's guide and memorized all of the scripts, then they'll do their power start. You know these people, right? Guess what, gang? Perfection does not work in our company. And I hope that the example of myself and Jan will let you know that perfection is far from a standard that you ever have to reach to be successful in Mary Kay. It is not perfection, but it is excellence. It is striving for excellence. And there is a gap between that. Number 8, vision. You've got to have a vision if you want to be a leader, because a leader is one who sees more than others see. A leader who is one who sees further than others see. A leader is one who sees before other people see. And it is, again, biblical that without vision, the people will perish. So if you don't have a vision for your business, then it's dwindling. You're in stagnant zone. Number 9, you've got to be a good communicator. You've got to be willing to confront. That's not steamroll, that's confront. You've got to respond, not react. You've got to sandwich criticism in between 2 positives for your people. You've got to let a situation go. It could also mean letting go of your leadership when you need to let a situation go. Communicate in a style that the person you're communicating with is comfortable with. Are y'all familiar with the DISC, the different personality styles? You know a little bit about that. Communicate in their style. Lots of times we just like to communicate in our style because it's more fun to us. It's more natural to us. But what I try to teach my consultants and directors, I don't care if you are sweating like bullets, your armpits are just, drenched. When you are at a skincare class or at an interview, get out of your style and communicate with that person in their style. The point is that the person you're talking to needs to feel comfortable, not that you need to feel comfortable. Work on your communication skills. Number 10, be disciplined. Do what you need to do, whether you feel like it or not. Become a no-excuses person. Do the thing you dread, and then the dread disappears. Rick Pitino, y'all know who Rick Pitino is? He's a great basketball coach, and he's now left the Boston Celtics. We were just so hoping that he would come back to the University of Kentucky, but he has a job someplace else, out in Las Vegas, Nevada, I think. But anyway, everybody wanted Rick Pitino. Every coach in the entire United States of America was sweating that Rick Pitino might want to come to his school because he wouldn't have a job. Why? Because Rick Pitino is a man of excellence in the coaching, in the basketball coaching world. Rick Pitino says you can have big dreams, but you must understand that your long-term successes are a direct result of what you achieve every day. It is so true that your success is hidden in your daily routine and whether or not you're disciplined. I have always said that it takes so many people doing so little to make so few of us look so good. Because I've never done anything great in Mary Kay. I haven't. I don't have any great personal accolades. I don't. And I'm not even embarrassed about it. Because you know what? My position says she went to work every day, 5 and 6 days a week, whether she felt like it or not. Because you don't get to a position like top $1 million director or top trip-winning director or Cadillac director without asserting some discipline. The difference between where you stand and where your director stands and where the Cadillac directors stand and the executive senior directors stand and the trip directors and the $1 million directors and the national sales directors, it is a degree of discipline. And so I hope that you will choose to get disciplined. Number 11, choose balance. Now I know that I really risk even using the word balance, harmony, any of that stuff, because we can all use it as our biggest excuse. Balance does not mean equal. It just simply doesn't mean equal. If I invested equal times every day in my workout, my quiet time, time with Jerry, time with Thomas, and time in my office, I'd be crazy. I mean, it would just make me nuts. You can't spend equal time. That does not mean balance. In the spring of last year, I traveled a lot. A lot. We're working on putting our national area together, and then seminar, and then the trip, and then Linda's debut. But you know what I knew? I knew on November 11th I wasn't going anywhere until yesterday. And so I left a suitcase packed in my closet all spring, just so that I could quickly throw my suit in and go. 2 sets of cosmetics, everything, just to make it easy, so I wouldn't have to pack a lot. And it was just crazy. And so I would come home and regroup and, connect with the family and then, be home 3 or 4 days, 5 or 6 days, and then go again. But you know what? I stayed home from November 11th until yesterday. And I would risk saying that in that 60-day period, I might have left my house 11 times. And you know what? I feel very balanced. Thomas and I baked cookies like 5 times. We ate the dough. We decorated. We did everything that I want to do. We just, that's balance to me. So if you don't get it in the course of a day or a week or a month, then grab it the next month. And then if you don't get it in 90 days, take it in the next 60 days. It doesn't have to be, well, I'm just feeling a little stressed. Good. This is good. Hold on to that. Hold that feeling, okay? Now, do it again, because I know you can. Push through, push. How many of you had babies? Do I even need to say anything else? I mean, imagine that first big attraction. I'm really feeling it. I gotta stop. This is just too hard. I mean, can you imagine how we would all look if we just stopped at that point? Babies didn't come out, we're just exploding. I mean, I want you to think of that analogy when it starts to feel too. Remember that point in your delivery where you're thinking, I cannot do this any longer. And then in 45 minutes you have a beautiful baby. Remember? See, y'all haven't even gotten into hard labor yet. You haven't. It's like your water broke and you went, oh my gosh! That's all you are. That you're just looking at water going, what am I going to do with this? You're saying, did I pee on myself or was this really the... See, that's where you are. You have got to move. And I feel like I might be connecting with you here. Number 12, show gratitude. The attitude of thankfulness that becomes a way of life is a great asset. Be grateful.
You know, I've been thinking recently, and I don't know why these thoughts have been coming to my mind, but I've been thinking recently how grateful we must be in the United States. I saw a clip of a movie, and I haven't even seen the movie, and I couldn't even tell you who's in the movie, but the clip was these young boys going away to war. It's a current movie that's out. I think they showed it at my church to show something about loyalty. I don't even remember the point, which is why I don't think movies should be shown at church, but it's not my problem, not yours. But anyway, the clip of the movie was that the one side had come into the church to make the announcement that it was the all call for the fathers and the sons. And so what the thing was people standing up to make a commitment. I think the sermon was on commitment. Standing up to make a commitment that they would go and fight in the war. And what I, at that point in time, thought was how grateful I am that I live in 2001. That Thomas is not going to go away to a war like that. And that Jerry's not going to walk out the door. And that's not the life that I have. How grateful I am. I saw a clip this morning on Vietnam. It was just like the lifestyle of Vietnam and how they live in Vietnam today, 2001. And I'm thinking that's so far removed from how we live in the United States of America. And I'm so grateful. And you know, I went to pick up my new Cadillac. I was almost embarrassed. Because when I called him, I said, you know, is it in? He goes, yeah, it's in. He goes, how are you doing? I said, I'm doing great. He said, well, you should be. He started giving me a little lesson. You should be. Because I have a $60,000 car down here waiting for you. I said, really? He said, yeah. I said, when can I come get it? So I walked in, and there's this car, and Jan's described hers to you, and they're all just about equal luxury. So there's, and Tom's like, now why do we get this new car? Because the other one's not old. It becomes challenging to teach a child to be frugal when every other year you get a new luxury car. And be grateful. Be grateful that you have an opportunity. If you don't have a DTS, which you don't, and if you don't have a $1 million ring, which you don't, and if you've never been on a top trip, which you haven't, then you be grateful where you are. Because the opportunity that you have is different from the women in Vietnam. And is different from the women, American, in 1776. It's different. Be grateful. Show gratitude. Number 13. Most importantly, take God as your business partner. Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, plans for hope in the future. I am not standing here before you as a name it, claim it philosopher. I believe that God has plans for us all, and for some of us it may be prosperity, for some of us it may be different. I don't know. I don't really know. But what I do know that when we are in God's plan and we are obedient to His call, that when we are obedient to that call, that what we do get in return is peace. It's a peace that surpasses all understanding, and so that what we want matches up with where we are and what we have. And so that unless you have that perfect peace that surpasses all understanding, that you are doing exactly what you need to do right now, and you know what? You can kid everybody else, but if you try to kid yourself, it's only you who loses. Because one day we're going to stand before Him, and we're either going to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant, or we're going to hear, you jerk. I mean, lucky for you got salvation, but let me show you everything else that you missed. I don't want that to happen to me. And the older I get, the more I realize that could just happen, just any time. And golly, goodness, girls, we don't want to. That's not anything to mess around with. We got work to do. It's time to now stand up and deliver. You can't just blow this off just because you don't feel like it. I want to give you real quick 10 ones, 10 real quickies. I got 5 minutes to give you 10 quickies, particular to Mary Kay. And these are the ones that you already know, and I bet you've been trained on this all weekend, so I'm going to zip past them. Number 1, you've got to have a goal. G-O-A-L, goal. People can't play football without a goal. You can't play soccer without a goal. You got to have a goal if you want to win. Otherwise, you don't know when you're even close to achieving it. Mary Kay has a career path, not a career spot for you. Path means keep going. We don't have the career launching pad or landing pad or lily pad. It's called the career path. Number 2, create visuals. Get them up. Just get them up. I remember when I was in DIQ, I put visuals all over my bathroom mirror. People would go to my bathroom, they would come out and they would look at me like. And I'm like, you know what, unless you really want to know, don't even ask any questions. Because people in my life at that time did not know anything about Mary Kay, And I hadn't really announced it. I hadn't become, this had not become my lifestyle. My lifestyle was teaching, drill team, all that stuff. Number 3, Cite new affirmations. First person, present tense, activity-oriented, results-oriented. For example, I easily make 5 booking attempts daily. I select 3 women from each class to hear about our opportunity. I make a recruiting attempt daily. I'm a master recruiter. I'm a Cadillac senior director walking up on seminar stage to receive my Millennium Cadillac keys. Positive first person affirmation. And you know what? If you didn't get that, your director knows all about it and it's on cassette tape. Number 4, work from a weekly plan sheet. Weekly plan sheets don't work for me. No, they're a piece of paper, have no blood, no brains. They do not work for you. You work for it. The reason a weekly plan sheet doesn't work for you is when it says 6 o'clock, make calls. You say, I don't feel like making calls. This is not working for me. Well, duh. You fix your weekly plan sheet, and then you go to work for your weekly plan sheet. You pretend it's your boss. The weekly plan sheet's your boss. Now you're the worker, and so you just got to follow it. Work with a weekly plan sheet. And from 6 most important daily things to do list. Before you go to bed every night, double check them, reprioritize. Don't waste an hour of your Mary Kay day the next day getting reorganized. How many times you say, okay, I'm going to go to work at 7 in my Mary Kay time, and then you spend a whole hour getting organized. You think, well, that's okay, because I can't call them anyway because it's dinner time, and then so I'll just wait till 8, and then it's 8 o'clock. Well, they're probably bathing the kids, okay, so I'll wait till 8:30. I only got 30 minutes to call. I got 15 people. I can't call 15 people in 30 minutes. So I'll just wait till tomorrow. And so then you do it on Wednesday night's church night, on Thursday night. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started on Mary Kay. Take an hour getting organized, remake your list, put on a new notepad, get it all going again. And it's 8 o'clock, and all they're probably getting their kids bathing, so I'll just wait at 8:30. And then 8:30 is kind of late. I don't have time to call 15 people. And then, well, I'll just wait. You know, this week's already washed. I'll just wait after meeting on Monday. I'll get inspired. I'll do it on Tuesday. So snap out of it. Number 5, track your activity on a daily sheet. Summary sheet. Every director's got a little tracking sheet she likes the best. Get on those sheets. You know, just track those sheets. Number 6, remain accountable with a mentor. If is a voice tell community here? Okay, I mean, get on voice tell and get in there every day, for crying out loud. How long does it take you? Get a cell phone that gives you some free minutes and get out there and do it. This is lame. Get you a speakerphone and put it in your breakfast or your makeup area. I mean, spend the $40, whatever you need to do, but get in there and get the information. Be accountable with people like you. Just because you enjoy working with certain of your team members and certain of your consultants who are more positive, more cooperative, more communicative, guess what? So does your director. And guess what, directors? So does your national. I mean to tell you, if I had to chase somebody down and ask her what her goal is, she has no goal, I'm not going to chase her down. You know, I got a plan. I'm going to work with winners, people who are ready to go, women that God has raised up, and the larger my organization gets, the higher up I can work, and I'm so excited about that. Why? Because hardworking people who are committed give me energy. Who motivates the motivator? Hardworking people committed to a cause. Committed to their call, saying, yes, even though it's hard, Lord, yes, I will do what you've called me to. Number 7, work. Work. If you write that one really big, you could even give it its own page if you want to. Work. Work, not from feelings, but from knowledge. We always talk about how we feel. Oh, I don't feel like working. Oh, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. Oh, I feel like I'm letting my family down. Oh, I feel like they've had pizza too much. Oh, I feel. Oh, my goodness gracious, girls. I mean, have you not been in the female hormonal cycle long enough to know that feelings are not reliable? Work from what you know. What do you know about this company? What do you know works? Work from what you know, not from what you feel. Number 8, feed your mind. This is a repeat, a little bit of one. Feed your mind with wonderful trainings and tapes. I selected as a DIQ and as a director just a few tapes of people who just energized me. They set me straight. They told me the truth. They worked with high levels of excellence, and I listened to those tapes over and over and over again. You don't have to have 100 tapes, just 5 or 6. They really spice you up. Listen to them over and over again until you can repeat them. Unless you know them from cover to cover, you haven't listened to them enough. It's not so much what they say on those tapes, it's how they say it. It's the conviction, it's the excellence. Number 9, delegate. You are not Superwoman. If you're doing your own laundry and cleaning your own house, you're already making a mistake. I mean, that's stupid. Proverbs 31 woman had servants. Look it up in your Bible, any version. Servants. S plural. She had servants. She took a profit from her efforts, and from that profit she bought another business. She was an entrepreneur. She woke up early in the morning. It was still dark. At nighttime, her lights were still on while everybody else was asleep. Read it. Go back. I'm not making this up. I'm not even, paraphrasing? I'm not even, this is not even my interpretation. This is like everybody's interpretation. All right. What I'm saying is get some help. I mean, every time you fold a towel, I want you to say to yourself, I could be making a booking call right now. Folding somebody's underwear, I could be making a recruiting call right now. Mopping the floor, I could be doing an orientation for $3,600 and earning $200 right now. Cleaning a toilet, you know what? I could be holding a $500 skincare class right now. I mean, Delegate. Number 10. Number 10, be more. Be more. Be more. You know what? When you can't do more, you just got to be more. There's a limit to your energy and resources, but there is no limit to God's. And when you begin your day with your quiet time, prayer, studying God's Word, and then you proceed with a 20-minute brisk walk or exercise of your preference, I don't care what you do, get your heart going, then advance to your power hour, that first working hour of your day where you initiate your efforts, you book, you sell, you recruit. When you do that, when you put first things first, when you do income producing first, the things that will boost your business because you're working with people, booking, coaching, selling, recruiting, interviewing, not rearranging inventory and remaking new lists. When you do those things first, and you are going to be more, and I promise you God will multiply your efforts. I promise you He will multiply your efforts. When you think you can't do more, He can. And that's where He wants to get you, where you know you can't do it, where the goal is so big that He will have to do it. I really do challenge you guys to sell out this next 6 months. I'm going to read you a quick email from Sean Key. And then I'm going to cruise. Dear Pam, it's my pleasure to inform you that we have 2 new NSDs effective January 2001, Lily Oriana, Emerald, Marilyn Welliviela, and Annabelle Rocha Paderas, Pearl Gogivaria. You all know Lily is a $1 million director, but I'm certain that you do not have a clue who Annabelle is. Let me tell you a little bit about her. Hopefully her performance will give hope to inspire others. Annabelle joined Mary Kay in June of '89 and became a director in March of '91. She's only 34 years old. By the way, I'm in my 30s now, Sean says. He had a birthday on Christmas if y'all want to congratulate him on being 30. Annabelle has been in and out of a Cadillac, but is currently driving her 3rd Cadillac. Okay, she's a new national sales director. She's been in and out of a Cadillac, and she now has her 3rd Cadillac ever in her life. Let me get the rest of this. She has led her unit to the circle of achievement 4 times. 300, 350, and 400 twice. Her first Mary Kay trip will be the NSD trip to Greece. She doesn't even have a $500,000 ring. Annabelle has been in the Queen's Court of Sales once and the Court of Recruiting twice. She doesn't speak much English, but she's working on becoming bilingual. She lives in Carrollton, Texas, near the headquarters, but she's originally from Mexico. And she and her area completed NSD qualifications with 10 first line and 8 seniors, which is considered the hard way to do it. I hope you can use Annabelle's story as an example for directors who feel like she can't be an NSD until she earns a top trip or becomes a $1 million director. The bottom line is that Annabelle has the family security program and trip directors don't. On the heels of Maria Alvarez's death, I hope that directors see the importance of getting to NSD as soon as possible. Stand and deliver, girls. Step up to the plate. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know that around the corner could be your husband's income is not a part of your life. You don't know what's around the corner. You know, what would happen if for the next 6 months you just sold out, all out, all out? In my national song, Dream Big by the Martins, it says, God has a special heart for those who walk outside the line. Don't be afraid to spread your wings and fly. It doesn't hurt to try. If you're going to dream, dream big. Most everybody in this room stands behind a line that defines them. It's that one thing you're not willing to do. It's book and holding skincare classes. You've never done a perfect start. You've never done a power start. You've never held 10 classes in a week. You've never interviewed 12 people in a month. That's the line you stand behind, and it defines where you are. When you walk outside that line and you do the light and truth that you already know what you need to do, when you do what you know you need to do, that's walking outside the line, and God will give you a new line. And then you walk outside the line, and God will give you a new line. God has a special heart for those who walk outside the line. Don't be afraid to spread your wings and fly. It doesn't hurt to try. If you're going to dream, dream big. And I want to challenge you this next year as a friend to the Thetford area to just step up to the plate. Because you know what? I'm going to be watching. And the only way that I have to gauge how you're doing is when I get my Applause magazine and I look for Jan Thetford's name. Because that's not about Jan Thetford, and it's not about her paycheck. It's about what you're doing. Because now as national sales directors, what we get recognized for is the effectiveness of our people. And I will know to be cheering you on when I see that climb, and I fully expect it to. God bless you. Directors, I look forward to seeing you at leadership, and the rest of you have a fabulous year. Thank you, Jan, for this opportunity. I went over. I'm sorry. Thank you.